In order to get to where you want to get to, you have to put in the work.
Yes.
I think people underestimate or don't recognize what entrepreneurship really means. You definitely want to know how to work smarter, but to know how to work smarter, you have to put in the work in the first place.
Who is Jenna Davies?
I am a playful workaholic. I have big dreams, ambitions to change the world, to help set people free from the limitations that hold us back as humans. I've helped develop and build 3 different apps in the fitness space. And we run an agency called Big Appetite. We develop bespoke software for businesses.
If you were to give the listeners that one piece of advice, what would that key be?
Look,
All right. Welcome back with Keys to the Queendom. I'm your host, Tamara Meyer. This is season 4. And as you guys know, this is all things to do with transformation. 2025, it's March now, and I'm super excited to have one of my best friends who is now helping my business grow in so many different ways to accelerate. The founder of Big Appetite. You are the Tech Accelerator Agency. Please welcome everyone, Jenna Davies.
what an introduction. Thank you so much for having me. It feels like a full circle moment being back on the Gold Coast, being here with you and being back on the show.
And she was the first guest I had when I had my very first podcast. You can slay that again.
Yeah.
Back in COVID days where we had my little studio apartment, and that was all things pivoting.
Yes.
And I think we're talking more things on pivoting on this beautiful episode. But before we get into that, I want the listeners and everyone who is watching and listening, who is Jenna Davies?
Good question. Well, my name is Jenna. I am a playful workaholic. I have big dreams, ambitions to change the world, to help set people free from the limitations that hold us back as humans, 9 to 5, limiting beliefs, but most importantly, to help them create time and financial freedom to enjoy more of this beautiful life with their friends and family. I started my first business in 2019 as a marketing consultant. I had a corporate marketing background, have a degree in commerce, my background sales, pharmaceuticals, brand marketing, and having worked across large scale fitness businesses, I've helped develop and build 3 different apps in the fitness space.
Amazing.
We've now built our own Creator Launchpad, which is a all-in-one business suite for creators, freelancers, coaches, service providers online. And we run an agency called Big Appetite. We develop bespoke software for businesses looking to really create a unique customer experience and build their brand with their clients.
And this is a big thing that I really want to hone in on and say that is what you're helping me with, right? And I just feel really it's important for everyone to know that, you know, as you accelerate, as you grow your business, like I think it's so important to not only invest in the right type of people, the people that can actually get you there with finding your true gift. And that's something you're very good at doing, you know, like, and that's what I love about yourself. Like you've had this huge knowledge, huge experience of what you've done and through back in the fitness days to now building businesses and most importantly, like the direction you're going in now. But the thing that I love that you said is workaholic. And there's this stigma where people are like, you need to do less to build this business. You can't be, you know, doing too much. But you kind of love the fact that you own the workaholic phase. Like, why do you feel like that's so important for business owners, the real entrepreneurs that are out there making moves in the business world?
Name one big time industry or category owner that isn't a self-professed or self-proclaimed workaholic. This 4-hour work week, this, you know, scale with a lean team, build an AI team, high ticket, automated idea is a fallacy. I'm not suggesting that it can't be done, but it takes a lot of work to get there if you want to have a lifestyle business and you want to have these standalone products and service hundreds and thousands, if not millions of people, which you need if you are appealing to the masses, especially at a low ticket, mass market, product market fit. And in order to get to where you want to get to, you have to put in the work.
Yes.
I think people underestimate or don't recognize what entrepreneurship really means. And to simplify it, it is maximizing output based off input. And so you definitely want to know how to work smarter, but to know how to work smarter, you have to put in the work in the first place. And you can build the most amazing business funnels and product, but then you have to sell it. And then when you do sell it, you'll get insight into what needs to change to stay relevant. And that is constant. That is always going to be there. So you always have to be working to sustain your business. And if you look at people right at the top, you know, people like Warren Buffett, even Elon Musk or Gary Vaynerchuk, people who seemingly are just full-time content creators or free of mundane responsibility, they are still working. The kind of work just changes.
Exactly. And I think people have this perception that when they want to build this mass business, that when it comes to working a lot in the business and hustling, they think that it takes away their freedom, their time with family. They burn out, they get sick, they're doing all the different tasks. But you're basically saying streamline everything to be able to then go to the next level of business and growth, right? So where do you feel like I think for me, like I used to fall for the trap of like, oh, well, I need to do less, but if I do less, then I'm not achieving my goals. So where do you think people went wrong with the industry now, where there's the 4-hour week persona, or, you know, being more in your feminine to, you know, be able to receive more money? Or there's a lot of people who promote manifestation and making millions of dollars, but then behind the scenes, are they actually putting in the work? Like, where do you think the industry shifted, that there is now this weird perception that hustling is wrong?
Which industry are you talking about? Like startup industry, fitness industry?
We could do both.
Creator,
we could do all
creator
of it,
economy.
know?
I think that people have been given a platform or an opportunity to build a platform thanks to social media. It's never been easier to reach tens of millions of people or more cost effective. So I think people are going straight to the end goal. I would manifest that I could do business over lunch meetings and do 6-figure deals over lunch meetings. I don't just go sit at home and shut my eyes and wait for that to happen.
Thank you.
And last week I had a lunch meeting with a potential client who now wants to build a mobile app. And when I left that meeting, I phoned my sister and I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, these people are coming to me. My phone is ringing and I'm making money. I'm going to lunch to talk about business deals and to connect with prospects at such a large scale that I didn't have 5 years ago when I was dreaming of this day. And now I'm here with you. My work weeks look so fun because I've put in the work to be able to get here. And I think the industry has shifted. We'll call it a startup mentality has shifted because of the power of the personal brand. So what we're seeing now is people understand that if you build a really solid personal brand, if you are consistent with creating content and you are building a relationship with your audience, you can sell anything. The caveat is you can't sell anything if you don't know that it's going to work. Right? True. There are people who put something out there and they hit it out of the park and it looks like an overnight success. But without any business acumen or knowledge, if you know what your market want, if you are talking to your community, you are learning what they're asking for, you are then able to create a product that solves their problem or an experience or a service. I think where people are going wrong is they're building a platform so that they can sell what they want to sell to the people that they think love them. Rather than sell what the people that love them are asking for.
Do you want to use me for example? Obviously, like you and I have just started working, and I'll go into more about like how you pivoted and how you got to where you are now, right? Because I know you've had such an amazing story. But like when you and I sat down, what were some of the things you asked me to look from a different lens of what was truly possible so people can understand what that means?
When you're working with a business owner, you can't take the same, or you can't take two different people and put them through the same journey. If you are a true business consultant, the automated journey to help pacify your income is almost redundant because you could present a very different problem to the next person. So I can't put you through a cookie cutter program, right? When I look at your business and I was saying to you, you know, what is it that you really want to achieve? What are your long-term goals? What are your hopes and aspirations? What is the purpose that gets you up in the morning? It gives me a very strong understanding of who you want to be.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people consult or seek help where they're trying to fix a problem in their business and they're not actually showing up as the person that they want to be. And I don't just mean habits and behaviors when I say showing up. I mean the way your market perceives you. Yeah. You may be stuck in the version of you that you were a year ago or 2 years ago. And, you know, in your 20s and 30s, you go through rapid growth as a person. And as a founder, your brand should evolve too. Yeah. So for me, the first thing that we did was find out what it is that you really want and then look at your unique ability, right? You've got experiential wisdom, which is the lessons learned over the experience that you've had over the years. You've obviously then got your unique ability, the parts of your personality and the traits that make you you, that make certain strengths your strengths. And then, you know, entrepreneurship is working with what you've got. You've really got to play to your strengths. And I just immediately could see a huge clear lane that's your opportunity. But then at the same time, I see where you're good at things and you're selling the things that you're good at, but it's not the things that lights your soul on fire. And I think that's where a lot of founders also start to get stuck around that year 2 mark in business. They are revenue generating. They've got a bunch of clients. They're like bored of their business and they're no longer challenged.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right? Yeah. So it's like you're no longer inspired by the people that are around you anymore because you are the leader and, you know, you should be 10 steps ahead of your clients. But at the same time, your clients are presenting with challenges that are maybe stopping them from being adherent or following the plan or getting the result. And you no longer have that compassion for people that aren't ready to take the action that you're ready to take. So I think that then brings with it like a huge opportunity to say, okay, we want to work with business owners who are more established and founders who know what they want to be achieving, rather than people who want to make a change but they don't know what that change is.
I want to dive a little bit into more with obviously you've been through a lot throughout the last couple of years, but before I go there, I really want to understand like your, you know, kind of like when you started to understand when you were ready to move on with your direction in business, like coming from the fitness background, clean health, then going into marketing, then going into a bigger scheme, now tech. Like, what were your moments where you're like, the next thing is for me?
How often have you said, I spent my whole life studying, I've been to school my whole life, and I've actually learned nothing that teaches me the tools and strategies to build a successful business in the outside world. You've probably spent thousands of dollars on courses, or you've heard fake news from business gurus. Well, I'm here to give this incredible news to everyone here right now that this is Queendom University. Get out of debt and actually start making money in the online space, knowing and having the foundations to build a successful business. Now I'm talking because I have gone through the trenches. I have been a fitness coach, built my online business as a pro athlete, and now I am a business coach. You'll go from having absolutely no idea what your business is through, in the 8 weeks, learn the foundations of knowing what your purpose is, your vision and mission, and also understanding your business values with the execution to know what that business is. You'll also learn branding, social media, content strategy, marketing, and more importantly, how to sell. With Queendom University, it'll cut out the bullshit and remove all the fluff and get you working specifically on your business so you can execute this in 8 weeks to get ready to launch. I wanted you to have something where you get to access something straight away, where you get to fast track your growth, as well as remove any doubt, any overwhelming sensation or stress, or the question that everyone seems to ask, where do I begin? With Queendom University, you'll be able to build wealth, freedom, and at the end of the day, be an entrepreneur and be able to say, I have finally built my own thing, my own business. And I've stopped making money for someone else, and I'm now making money for my own empire. Queen Stream University.
I always knew that my business would be built off stepping stones. I have a business acumen. I have a level of education around this. I have a degree in business. I've worked in, 8 and 9 figure global companies around that operate around the world. I've had a lot of exposure to budgets, chats, P&Ls, and operations where you have to move with the end goal in mind. Yeah. People in large scale corporations launch products with the end goal in mind that it's going to be, $1 billion SKU. So before they even get to their first marketing campaign, they know what their ideal is. And at version 1, no one knows their version 5. Like, things can change. Yeah. But I never started my consulting business because my dream... Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I knew that if I wanted to be able to charge 6 figures for a consulting package, I'd have to build to that. And it's not just about consulting all the way there. You need to actually show people that you can do the thing. And the challenge with consulting is you can tell people what to do, but if they can't execute it, it does fall back on you a little bit. Yeah. And so for me, and with the area that I'm so passionate about, I knew it's about product. It's about brand in hand. If you want to be an internationally recognizable person with the credibility that I desire to have, then tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people have to encounter my brand and product. And that's the field that I want to play on. So for me, it was create a tool that people can use. I always knew that that's how I wanted to scale my impact. I can help so many people with my time that is only so scalable. If you understand business, you then just look at what is available to us, which are business models. You don't reinvent the wheel. You say, okay, I can be a consultant. I could go into a job, and get increase my breadth in terms of my knowledge and work across many different things. I can work across different businesses. I can create a product for my people. I can create a tool for my people. I can teach a team how to do what I can do, and they can do things for my people. So, as a bootstrapped founder, which means self-funded, I was bringing in revenue through consulting, and in business there's vertical and lateral integration or diversification. So if you go up the supply chain or down the supply chain, you can choose to own a whole sort of vertical for the category that I'm in. And what that basically means is finding other problems that your clients are solving and then solving those problems. So as a consultant, I was telling people to go and have sales pages or websites built, and I would get the work back from various contractors or developers that they had chosen, and I didn't like it, or I would have done it better or differently or whatever it may be. This is just an example. But my point is then I wanted to control the controllables. So I started to bring in-house developers and designers, and so we could provide an end-to-end solution for our clients. Then I decided to go up the chain because the tech stack that we were providing or recommending presented flaws for our market. People didn't want to pay $16,000 a year in subscription fees when they're not even using all of the systems. Startups, they want to build with the right foundations at the start, but they're not even aware of how to utilize the tools available to them. And when you build for somebody else, unless they spend the time learning the systems that you give back to them, they're not going to maximize that potential in the first 12 months, and they generally just start to look for something cheaper. They can be quite small-minded, right? Rather than owning what you give to them. So we decided to build our own tech, and now we have the Creator Launchpad.
Can we just own that though? You've just you decided to create your own tech. Fuck, that's amazing though, babe.
Thank you. I mean,
Do you not, like, I'm like, I don't even think of, but do you know what I mean? That's your genius.
It's so nice. It's nice to be reminded of that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been playing in a big field. I've been living in London and
we have to talk about that too.
Running alongside people who are doing this too. And if it exists, I can have it.
Yeah.
It's been done before. Why
Yeah.
can't I have it? You know, why can't I have a piece of that pie?
Yeah.
You look at Kajabi, it's a $2 billion platform. Why can't I have some of that?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Somebody built it. Some person with arms and legs and a heartbeat said, I'm going to create something unique for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And it took off. Why can't I have a piece of that pie? Look at DeepSeek AI. Came out and knocked the socks off ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the first. You just have to be better.
But that's the thing. Like, you took that initiative and you're like, how can I do this? So then that started. You left to go to the UK, and that was a big step for yourself. And I think that's in itself already so inspiring, because a lot of people do stay the same. They stay where they're comfortable, whereas you're like, what's the next thing for me? And I think you even said this on one of our calls, people zig, you zagged.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that from you because you said it to me. So it's
Yeah.
not my quote, guys.
When the
This
market
is what,
zigs, you zag.
thank you.
Not my quote either. I'm well read.
All right, well, there you go. But obviously a lot of personal stuff happened prior to that, so I'm not sure if that's something you wanted to touch base on, because I know you had
Ask away.
massive hardships, massive personal stuff for yourself. Like, you and I have obviously been best friends for so many years, and I remember we spent, I think, just before Valentine's Day together, and then you received that phone call, and then you told me your mum passed away. And that was obviously a big part of obviously also why you do what you do now. Like,
Yeah. I think for me, I always wanted to create a vessel that meant that I was safe and secure. My business was something that nobody could take away from me. It was my ticket to the life that nobody could take away from me. You know, I started a business from a place of fear. It wasn't, I had a great job, great salary, global head of marketing, Clean Health Fitness Institute, you know, internationally renowned corporation. We took the company to 8 figures, digitized their whole platform. It's not that I had a great relationship with you know, the founder of Clean Health, and also had a pharmaceutical background.
how did you get into that?
Pharmaceuticals?
Yeah.
So I had a commerce degree, worked in sales for one of Australia's largest facility services companies. I was selling pest control, hygiene services, sanitary bins, like
so cool.
all of the like largest accommodation chains, hospitality chains were in our portfolio, and my job was to keep them pest free and nice and clean. And at the time, I was killing it. I topped the country in sales at one point. Amazing. And I just knew, like, I love sales. I loved my role, but I felt like I was in golden handcuffs. I was making great money at 21, but I knew that it wasn't my life's work or my life calling. And I loved the idea of helping people, help others. And I was always passionate about the power of a transformation. I got qualified as a personal trainer. When I finished my degree, I was studying full-time at night at uni and working 2 jobs. So when my degree was finished, I was like, well, what now? So I got qualified as a personal trainer, and that was when my hobby of training was really accelerating. I wanted to compete, and I launched Next Gen PT just to practice graphic design, putting together an offer. I came out with the 8-week slim and trim, and it wasn't real. Like, I just made it. I just made it. I was a qualified PT. I was just playing around.
I think you made was it 30 grand from that one thing? Or was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
just remember you telling me
then posted it on my Instagram because I was so proud. Like, I had no followers at the time, but I had a network. I had people around me.
That's big.
That were responding, and I started running boot camps in the hills.
Was this at the bikini body?
That came later. So I was running boot camps. I was training people. I was really sort of like starting to love that. And I then saw a job opening for assistant marketing assistant role for a health and wellness brand in FMCG, so fast moving consumer goods. This is a pharmacy only brand, but I worked on superfoods and weight wellness, so weight loss shakes, superfoods, and I got that job because of my sales background. They would only work with interns from like Sydney Uni, you know, and I missed that boat in terms of getting the ATAR that I needed to go to a university like Sydney Uni.
Yeah.
But I worked my way into this position and I worked my way up as a marketer and I gained so much experience there. I started creating weight loss PDFs and training guides to accompany weight loss shakes. And from there, I made my way into the fitness industry. I never really worked as a coach. I did have online clients for a while. I made a 8-week peach guide on PowerPoint.
That's right.
And
yes.
I woke up to like $30,000 in the bank after,
insane.
you know, just a couple of days of that being online. I actually took it down because
it was too big.
I was like,
do
I want to be known for the booty builder or do I want to be the business builder? And I had to make a choice. And I was like, I'm staying in my lane. You know, competing was a hobby for me. I was competing as a way to save myself. It was a band-aid. I was all the reasons they say don't compete. I'm going to come right out and say do, in a way. Like it gave me a lot of purpose.
Yeah.
I lost my mom. We were in COVID and my coping mechanisms were unhealthy. Yeah. Like I was drinking. My mom died on a Friday. I was drinking every weekend, all weekend. And I was like, you know what? This is something I can do for me. It's the only purpose that I had at a point in time where I'd pretty much lost everything in my life. Yeah. Also having just started a new business, I lost my like team at work. I lost my own security of this consistent income. Yeah. And the discipline and devotion that I was exercising towards competing then gave me a lot of strength and confidence within myself to apply that same discipline and focus to myself. I think you lose a lot of self-worth or self-trust when you go through something tough. Yeah.
It's been 5 years now, right, since mum?
Yeah, 5 years in February, which was crazy. Yeah. And, you know, unfortunately, after my mom, there were 5 others, 6 people in 4 years of my family, like aunties, 3 aunties, an uncle, my grandma, you know. So it was a lot. Yeah. It was a lot for me. So, you know, navigating, working alongside that made me, and I was in a coma. So
there was that next story I was going to share.
Yeah, like I was so grateful that I had built a team and I had built a product, because what would you do if you couldn't work? Yeah. As a business owner, we don't get sick leave. I'm not going to get maternity leave. I don't get annual leave. You know, you actually just create what is an illusion of a nice life if you are, say you replace your full-time salary to work for yourself. A lot of people are there. That's their goal. They want to quit their job and work for themselves. Yeah. They don't recognize what that actually means. So you have to pay yourself super. You got to have money in the bank. Like if you get hit by a bus and you can't work for a period of time, there's no money coming in. Yeah. You know, there's no sick leave. There's no support or care. So you then realize, okay, being a solopreneur or a freelancer is not super sustainable without having the right roadmap in place. And for me, I always wanted more. You know, I always wanted to have a big company with a global impact. I always wanted to have a tool that could help unlock freedom for people. So the journey or the trajectory was always mapped out. I just had to make my way through it.
Yeah, and that's coming back to the pivot, right? And this has been the theme for the first podcast we did and the podcast we're doing now, you know, all the different journeys in itself, the challenges, and now obviously moving into the tech world. And by the way, like, guys, you have to understand that this woman, even through those times of toughness, challenges, hurdles, babe, like the deaths, the rebirths, the ego deaths, the change, the transition? Were there ever moments for you where it's like, fuck, why the fuck is this happening right now and all this time? Like, how did you get through all that, babe?
Beautiful kings and queens, are you right now in a space where you're ready to take action and build your business, yet you struggle where to begin? You're feeling stuck and overwhelmed with all the things you need to do when it comes to building a business. Build the business of your dreams in the online space and be in the arena of all the incredible, great humans out there that are building 7 to 8 figure businesses. Now, the foundations that I truly believe in that you are going to learn through this membership is sales, marketing, content creation, social media, money mindset, and of course, branding. Now, all of this will be accessible for you to be learning what is currently hot right now in the market and how you can create your own business and build a successful business in the online space. All you have to do right now is DM Empire in my Instagram or email myself and my team, and we will get the ball rolling so you can have your empire and start making moves in the online space.
I honestly never asked why me. You know, I never felt like the victim when everybody else was dying. I felt for them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It was more just like, what now?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know who to get help from. I don't know how to navigate what I'm going through. And so it wasn't so much why me, but it was just like how do I survive? Like, how do I handle this? And asking questions is the greatest skill that you can have, and asking the right questions, asking the right people. I wasn't asking my friends, how do I get through this? I went to the doctor and I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm panicking. I'm having panic attacks. I can't breathe. I think I'm going to die. You know, I have to jump in the ocean. It's the only thing that fixes me. And the doctor's like, that's anxiety. You're having panic attacks. And then I'm like, what do I do now? You know, I don't want
solution focus.
Like, literally, like, I would have been the person that said to somebody, what's the 12-week protocol for handling grief? I did that. I went to a nutritionist. I studied NLP because I was scared that the trauma would change my brain. So the first thing I did was went on Udemy and studied neuro-linguistic programming and neuroplasticity because I had developed PTSD. I was working with a therapist that, like, kind of almost sent me broke at the time, but was the greatest investment. People don't pay for therapy. Everybody needs to speak to a therapist. And through therapy, I discovered inner work with spiritual healers and mindset coaches. And it's not to say that one should supersede the other. I was doing both. Because somebody who has the skill set to coach me through becoming a better version of myself does not have the skill set to coach me through grief, loss, and trauma like a therapist does. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So, I really invested in handling stress, getting a better sleep. How do I deal with what I'm dealing with without unhealthy coping mechanisms, keeping me, you know, around friends or associating with people that I didn't want to associate with, learning to be by myself, learning to sit with grief. I was living alone at the time. I've always lived alone, really. Actually, there was a period of time I had a housemate for a brief minute. But, you know, I had my goals and I saw all of these things as a way to kind of knock me off my path. And as the way that shone the light on my path at the same time.
And your capacity to hold right now as well. Like, if you can get through all that, which you did, now when it comes to looking at the business venture you're going through now, and let's talk more about the tech world, which, you know, what's the future hold for tech? What's the thing that you're really bringing forward to the world? Like, you are bringing something new and exciting, and I want the listeners to hear more of this so that they can utilize, how can I work with Jenna? How can I be part of her world like I am? I'm super pumped for this journey,
I love that. So we've built the Creator Launchpad. It exists right now for our clients who come to us. We do their brand design. We'll build and develop their sales pages or work with their existing sales page if need be. And we put them into the Launchpad where they can build and sell online courses, subscriptions. They can create and give away as much free content as they want to build their email list. We set up sell by chat for them so that they can, nurture leads in their DMs and convert to them in their DMs. We've got a referral. It's called our Fan Club, which is a referral loyalty program in place, which is completely customizable to you and your own business based on what your clients want or need. And we are really working to enhance the features with AI so that you can know exactly what to do to build your business unique to you based off your own data. Plus, we are an agency, so we support all of our clients with getting onto the platform, making sure they know how to use it, and then, of course, making sure that they're executing the strategy within their business to their platforms as well. I think the future of tech is huge and bright. Yeah. We see a lot more players coming into the market. The creator economy is worth $230 billion and is predicted to hit $500 billion by 2030.
Wow.
We are seeing a influx of solopreneurs that are cash rich because they have made 7 figures online, and if they're smart enough to have saved it, they're coming with unique ideas that they are then trying to invest into their business as well. It does mean that people can flood the market. There are more of these like AI tools popping up than ever. Yeah, and we have seen VCs and large funds shift away from the AI and tech space and go back into infrastructure, trade, and AI, also physical tech, like wearable tech or AI tech for like hardware. I do see data. It is already king, but ultimately the interpretation of data, the accumulation of data, there are a lot of I would say like large scale fitness influencers that are white labeling softwares and platforms that are costing them money. Tens of thousands of dollars a year.
I fell for that trap.
Yeah, and they don't actually own and access the data that they need to drive decisions into the future. I think we're going to see a lot in the personalization space now. People really want unique advice tailored to them with AI, but at the same time, when the market is full of choice, people are people, and we know that behavior change is the hardest thing for a human to go through. So if you are selling a transformation of any kind, which we all are, the ability to follow the plan, the ability to use the platform, I see the rise for implementation and onboarding services. And if you look at platforms like HubSpot, they invest so much in solutions engineers that will then onboard a company into their system. They're charging, 6 figures a year to use at the high end, and they want to make sure that the team of their new business knows how to use the platform. So these like small scale platforms or startup platforms in the space, I think will lose to the platform that nails implementation and onboarding.
And so what would you say to the listeners right now who are at that phase where they're like wanting to do the tech side of things, had the transformation, like what's going to be them what will stop them being able to get to their end goal? If it's to be global, to be seen, to be serving and transformation, whether it's product-based services, entrepreneurs, coaches, business owners, like what's going to stop them, or the ones that are going to be left behind if they're not implementing what?
If they're too slow.
Yeah.
You can grow so slowly that you die.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is going to come along and do it.
Yeah.
We all have access to the same data and knowledge and insights. It's not hard to build your next stage, but your perfectionism or your fear is going to hold you back, and somebody else will see the opportunity that you see. Do you ever look at something and think, oh, I wish I thought of that?
And you should have done it?
Right? Like we've all seen things emerge in the market, the next progression, your competitors will be able to spot in only a matter of time.
Yeah.
So you need to take the action. It's not as hard or as scary as you think. Businesses at the lower end, respectfully, if you are a solopreneur, you're a 7-figure business, small team, and you think you're going to come out with something big, you will hurt yourself by waiting on that idea.
Yeah, I love
Your
that.
best thing is to just move.
Yeah.
You get really fast feedback when you're in business. If you can validate the idea before you invest into it, then it will validate the idea for a bespoke investment or build, and you can start learning, testing and refining from your first launch. So there are like low code, no code solutions. There are ways that you can launch a product or a service experience in seconds. You don't even need to have anything necessarily in place on the back end. You just start selling, and you can start to immediately see what's the feedback, what's the uptake, what are the questions of my market, how can I adjust the product or the service experience to include or solve or remedy these.
Yeah.
And then you make sure the service experience delivers on the promise.
Yeah.
And it may fall short. And where it falls short, you need to then put in place measures to ensure that it doesn't.
Yeah.
Or revisit your messaging to make sure that you are attracting the right people.
Yeah.
But most importantly, making sure that you can deliver on your promise.
Yeah.
But you will fall short if you just aren't making a promise.
Yeah. And that's a big thing, because I think a lot of people stress about the end result, but they don't know the messaging, and they don't even know if they can actually give the promise to the consumers or prospects that they're working with.
I think we are in an era of sales and marketing training. Like 5 years ago, it was how to get fit, how to get in shape, 6-minute abs, how to, like cook for success in the kitchen. And now all of a sudden, and obviously this is my algorithm as well, but now, business coaching, business success is the trending topic. You can change your life vibes. We're all reading these books, and we've all got access to tools that mean we can make money in our pocket, from our pocket, make money while you sleep. Like, we're all sold this dream, and we have this visibility into entrepreneurs' lives where they're
But
filming
no one
reels,
really is.
filming reels
or
from
pretends.
their Lamborghini,
Yeah.
So people are falling into the trap of learning how to sell and then selling something
That they don't deliver on the promise.
Yeah, they don't know how to deliver on the promise. They haven't tailored the solution to the client. They haven't been clear. I'm not sitting here selling freedom. I would love to say I will set you free.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I can't do that yet. You know, I'm not able to fully do that. Even my best performing clients that are making 8 figures are working, right? And there is an exit pathway there. And until that's done, in which case I may have 1 or 2 people who have successfully exited for 8 figures.
Yeah.
I still won't then go and shout from the rooftops that I can set you free.
Just sounds like people aren't accurate to their message, or they have no idea how to market it.
Like, let's use fitness as an example. Break up with yo-yo dieting. Okay, how do you do that? Calorie and macro coaching, education around the power of being at maintenance, blah, 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 whatever you do. But you've got to be able to show that you can actually take people from yo-yo dieting to never dieting again.
Yeah.
Right? Never needing to diet again, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are desperate to improve their bottom line, to make more money in that 2x mentality. Maybe you had 30 grand months and now you're trying to do 60.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to tweak your messaging to sell more of the same thing. I think it's very short-sighted.
Yeah.
I think you have to think, what do I actually need to be able to say I set people free?
Yeah, true.
Well, I need hundreds of thousands of people that are free. Well, how am I going to do that? I need to give them the tool that they will use to create and achieve their freedom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, really, you set yourself free.
True.
The amount of hours that you work, the way you invest in your skill set, the way in which you practice or execute your routine, am I still then claiming your result?
Yeah, true.
Right? I think marketers need to have a little bit more integrity with their claims, but at the same time,
Embodiment.
that's marketing.
Yeah, true.
Right? Like Red Bull doesn't give you wings. They were sued for $13 million or something like that from the man who thought that he would have wings.
That. So real marketers, if you were to say it for the people listening, true marketers for 2025, if they really want to play the game and be big and go global and scale and have a tech team like yourself, what would you say that they need to start doing besides just moving?
Check your product. Never forget the power of your people.
Yeah.
It starts with the way that people are using and loving your product.
Yeah.
Why do people leave? Why do they drop off? Where do they get bored? You know, the biggest mistake that I made when we launched the first accelerator program was giving my busy business owners
So much
hundreds
work.
of hours of education. I'm like, but don't you want to learn how to be a better seller?
Because we're used to working so much to what we achieved, essentially, right?
But also, I'm like, you need to know this.
Yeah, true.
So then I realized I had an expectation mismatch because I was selling time and financial freedom to people who didn't know how to sell. So then I set myself up for failure because I could give you the Ferrari, but hand you the keys, but you don't know how to drive it.
That makes sense.
Right? So then I was like, okay, I need to attract people who know how to drive.
Yeah, so then changing the people you want to serve.
I don't really
You can say it. I know what you were going to say.
I don't really invest a lot of time into the education and support for our clients anymore. Like, your journey is unique to you. So I've got to now go after this and build out your next 10 days of learning because it's like, I need you to do stuff for me so that I can have the data and information that I need to continue to dive deeper into your business. And in what I'm asking you to do, I will explain how to do it.
Yeah.
Not so much why, not so much, the science behind it. I'm just going to tell you how to do what I need you to do.
But I listen and I'll do it. So other people just the ones that you obviously are focused on their, I don't know, they need to know why. You want to work with people that are like, yep, just tell me what to do and I'll do it, with the right type of people, right?
Oh, this is a good question.
I know, because obviously you've told me what to do and I'm like, yep, do it. No questions asked, whatever.
Yep. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Have you ever signed up for an online course and not finished it?
Yes.
Have you bought a book and you haven't read it yet?
Yes.
How many times have you said that you would start a diet?
Stop drinking?
Not exactly. My point is, we are human.
Yeah.
And busy people that need help in their business maybe also need a little bit more of an understanding of what that help is before they go to somebody and they're like, fix me.
Yeah.
Because you have to know that change requires action. What got you here won't get you there. If you want a different business, you're going to have to learn, or you are going to get schooled by your business, and it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
And you could do both.
Yeah.
Like, I had to get a mentor who is an equity partner of my company now. He's a software architect. I travel to London. I immerse myself in the technology world. I immerse myself in startup culture. I cut off a lot of time with my friends so that I could invest time into people that I don't know to learn how they did what they did, so I could gain more visibility into the different journeys that provide success leaves clues, so that provided like a light into what was working for them. I then gained a lot of knowledge and insight and understanding to things that I didn't know about and access to things that I could then learn further into. And only through doing that was I able to start to execute some of these things and see how my clients would respond to this new modality of service or this different feature or whatever it may be. And there is experiential wisdom that comes from, like the last 18 months of my life. There were books that I was reading. Obviously, books take time to get through and they're not as, say, fun as going to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But then I swapped Netflix for YouTube.
Yeah.
I listened to different podcasts on topics I didn't know about rather than the same familiar faces.
Yeah.
And I had to show the world what it really took, or at least show my world what it really took to pivot and change my world, because now I have clients that are willing to do what it takes.
Yeah.
Right? And that is like the people who want to drive change that don't know where they're going are dangerous.
Yeah.
They're dangerous clients to take on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a massive lesson for anyone listening right now. Don't just work for people for the sake of making money for that moment. Find the people you actually want to work with that are actually going to want to do the work and change with you. I have 2 questions for you left.
Go for it.
Last, like not Melbourne, London, hardest and best thing about it.
The hardest thing about going to London was having no fucking idea what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. Half the time I was getting lost every week.
It looked amazing.
I was meeting new people, making new friends on a different time zone, running a business in Australian hours, living in the UK. You know, everything about it was so hard because it was all so new. Like, people are so scared of change, and I just went and changed everything.
That's what I loved about you. I remember we'd have chats. You're like, I think I'm going to do this. I'm like, fucking go, bro. And you did.
It was tough. And the best thing about it is exactly that.
Wow.
I gained so much courage. I could see how courageous I was. I gained so much confidence because I could see that I was doing things that scared me.
Yeah.
You know, I gained so many new beautiful friends. I gained so much knowledge into things I didn't know about, so much awareness, so much experience. I really ran with this opportunity, and now I genuinely believe that I will do whatever the fuck I set my mind to, and that is like unfuckwithable.
Am I allowed to say what you're going to be working on next and where you're going? Was that to be continued?
No, go for it.
Where are you off to next, Jenna Davies?
I've got my eyes set on New York and San Francisco. Yeah. We are starting our fundraising journey for the Creator Launchpad.
Yeah, awesome, babe.
We are seeking to reach hundreds of thousands of people.
If anyone's listening, invest in her now. She needs.
Yeah.
Can I say how many?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry.
But we are looking to scale the platform, and that requires a investment to finish it in the time frame that we need to. We have been bootstrapping thus far, but it is a big vision.
Yeah.
We've come so far, and our investment now is fuel to the fire. We also really want a strong launch with the marketing front. So keen to raise capital for the Creator Launchpad so that we can really dominate the Australian creator economy.
And guys, to be continued, because we will have another episode when she comes back, when she tells us on her next adventure. No, but this is important for everyone to listen, because first and foremost, one of my best friends, we're working now. She's helping my business grow. And the thing that I really want to bring forward for everyone listening, stop playing fucking small. Stop trying to be like everyone else. Like, if you're really wanting to make an impact in the world, whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is, like, don't be afraid to fail forward. Keep moving. And Jenna's a perfect example of that, especially. Look at what she's about to do. One last question, honey, before we wrap this beautiful podcast up. If you were to give the listeners that one piece of advice, that key to open their keys to the Queendom, what would that piece of advice, that key, be?
Learn to learn better. Your ability to retain information, seek out information, ask questions, to practice discernment from what you learn and what is applicable to you is your greatest skill, because your ability to edit and create content, well, how do you know that that content is going to pay off? Are you learning what is currently trending? Are you learning what it takes to go viral? Are you learning who your person is? Do you know what the market wants? Are you learning what your business needs to provide? Are you learning how to communicate better? If you can learn to learn quickly, to retain information, and to practice that discernment, not everything is relevant for you. What your business coach or the next person online did for them is not always applicable to you.
Yeah.
And so I'm not here, taking on startups saying, let's build your own app. I'm saying, like, go validate your idea. Let's help you do that first.
Yeah.
But learn to learn better, because you should check yourself. Like, what are you spending time on? Are you on Netflix? Are you chatting shit with your friends? Like, could you be listening, learning, reading, watching things that are going to contribute to your success.
Knowledge is potential power, and it's what you do with it that matters. Ladies and gents, Jenna Davies, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on here. How can everyone follow you and work with you right this second before you go to New York, babes?
Thank you. You can add me on Instagram. Just type in Jenna Davies Marketing, JennaDavies Marketing, or head to Big Appetite, BIGUPPETITE.com.
I'll put it in the description box. My love, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And everyone else, this is Keys to the Queendom Season 4, all about transformation. And this girl is definitely transforming into this incredible human that she's growing. She's making a massive impact in the global, in the world. I am Tamara Meyer. I will see you all next week. Thank you for being here, babe.
Thank you for having me.
I'm there for playing big today with authenticity, because here is the thing. It's not about being perfect on stage, perfectly put together, which is important, yes. It's about being who you are. What if right now, because of today, in a year's time, you could look back and go, I did that scary thing. And that's a year from now where you went and made that decision. I'm going all in, committed to doing the work. I'm committed because this is so much more than me. It's not about me anymore.